Many, many moons ago, was in my very first Scrum team. And this was very early 2000s. And we'd started using extreme programming. I was very lucky to be working with a group where we had a really strong consultant come in and help set us up with solid extreme programming practices. So automated build servers, unit testing, fast feedback loops, all that good stuff. And then someone said, let's use Scrum. And the first thing that I would have appreciated back then is somebody emphasizing it's about principles, not practices. And this is why, central to my training, I will often draw what I call the trust tree, which is a riff off Lisa Adkins' high performance coaching tree, but I put the Scrum values at the base of the tree. They're the roots. So use the force, focus, openness, respect, courage, and commitment. And those values were out there, but at the time, there was the book about Scrum, but Ken and Jeff had not published the Scrum Guide. That didn't happen until 2009. Those values were there in the very first book of Scrum by Ken Schwaber and Mike Beadle. And using the force is so important because it helps build trust, and trust enables empiricism, transparency, inspection, adaptation. That's the most important thing every individual working in an Agile, and Scrum is to Agile what Apple is to fruit. Everybody working an Agile way needs to understand this stuff. And so principles first. It's not practices, because practices lead you to mechanical Scrum or robotic Scrum or zombie Scrum or zombie Agile, whatever you want to call it. So that's the first thing. It's always principles over mechanics or practice. That ties into the values, emphasizing it is an approach for collaboration, and the Scrum values provide a foundation to enter and exit conflict gracefully. Having an adult, mature discussion about how we're going to work together, how we're going to focus on value delivery. Absolutely essential. One of my catchphrases is Scrum done well is absolutely ruthless on value and compassionate with people. So that means you really need to be clear about what done is. How can you close that feedback loop to your customer or client? Because value's an assertion until tested in the marketplace. Connecting to your customer or client, closing that feedback loop is essential, and you can't do that unless you get to done. We're not going to be able to get to done unless we use the Scrum values and have some mature professional conversations about what we build, and is it of a caliber or standard that is acceptable to the marketplace. Cyberpunk 2077 is still recovering from the reputational damage 3 years ago of releasing something that wasn't done. So as a team, we need to be looking at that. And that leads us to the ultimate point. The whole reason we're doing anything at work, it's not a creche. We're not there at a play center for adults. People aren't paying or engaging you just to keep you busy for 40 hours a week. You're there for a purpose. You're there to help deliver part of your corporate strategy. Whether you're a charity, a government organization, for-profit company, there's something that your organization is there to do. Some industries, it's lovely and clear. My son's got his first job. He's working in a kitchen. The purpose of a kitchen is to feed people food. That's clear. His part of that kitchen is making sure those dishes are clean. There's absolutely zero ambiguity about why he's turning up for work. His job is to make sure that the kitchen is clean. Full stop. That purpose connection often gets lost when we get into these knowledge-based things, when we start working in very large organizations and we have structures around it, and that connection to value goes missing. We've seen it in 2023, the great shedding, where organizations have doubled down on, are you adding value or not? So if you're not connected to the purpose, if you're not helping delivering value, you're not helping. When we're starting out, it is absolutely essential to remind people that you're turning up for work for a reason, connect to that reason, connect with each other, focus on delivering value, build those feedback loops, learn, improve, get better, deliver more.